Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
That's good. That was like in unison.
Yeah,
I think that's the right word for it.
minds think alike.
What's going on? Is anybody on yet, or you didn't start it yet?
No, I started it. There's
Oh,
22 people. If you open up the chat, you'll see Joseph and Michael.
oh, gotcha. Chat. There we go. There we go. Hello, everybody. I have like 8 computers going right now. Yeah, I forgot about the old chat button down here.
Yeah.
Joe, Michael, Ivan, Brittany. Let's go.
So
How is everybody? Brittany, you're in Florida also? Where are you from? Port St. Lucie, nice. A little bit south of me. Oh man, it's so nice out. How is the weather in Pittsburgh right now?
It's great. No, it's
You
like
guys have a bunch
degrees here.
you have a bunch of snow still or no?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it melted away, and then we got like a brush of snow last night randomly, I guess. But what is it? It says it's 23 now, currently. That's great.
Whew. Yeah. Well, Brittany just said it's 80. So, and I think, yeah, my phone says it's 79 degrees and it's sunny out. So a little bit different down here than up there, I guess.
Oh, I mean, at least it's like, partially cloudy out here and not totally just like dark.
Yeah. At least it's not too depressing.
Yeah. You said Taylor said Ohio isn't any better. Well,
Ohio, I know, man. I'm from Michigan originally. So, and it's like a state of depression up there usually with the weather. It's like gray 90% of the year.
yes, it is. But oh, no.
Look at Seth. Seth over here saying it's negative 23 in East Montana.
Oh,
That's cold. That's really cold.
-6. Yeah, no, I'll stick with like 23 because here it seems a little bit warm now. Walked outside, I was like, oh, this is great.
I know. It's crazy how cold some places are.
Mhm. Feel of 25. Yeah, no, thank you. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cold, man. There he is. There's Doug. What's happening, man? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you guys.
All right.
I had to get me to some headphones with something. I got the cord on here so that I can hear. Easier for me to hear when I got headphones in.
Bing, bing, bing.
Can you hear that every time it bings on my over here?
Yes.
Mhm.
Dude, I don't know how to shut that off. It's like ringing on my computer. It's
Did you get a new? Oh, you did get a new computer.
yeah, but it's like my text from my iPhone and stuff coming through, but it's not even just my phone. It's like my kids' phones, and they're like coming through. Like I don't know what I'm doing.
Perfect.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I suck at this stuff so bad. Oh my God.
You ain't the only one. We gotta learn, though. We gotta learn.
I know, I'm trying. I'll get it for the next time. I've done Zoom before, and today it did something completely different. It told me I didn't have an account and I couldn't sign in. I said, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. I had a mini heart attack.
You're good. Hey, we're here now. Totally fine.
Yes.
Cool. So since we're all here, we're just gonna give people just a few more minutes to hop on. But as you guys know, all of these webinars are recorded and we'll send them out via email, and we'll also post them in the Facebook group. If you're in the Facebook group, please join. It's a great environment. Everyone is super motivational. You're kept up to date to everything. And if you don't have Facebook, like I said, we'll also email everything out. So with that being said, welcome to the second webinar. This webinar is alternative workout tips and how not to burn yourself out week 1. We have Justine, Doug, and Dean. There are some topics that they're going to cover, but Obviously, if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. We will try to answer all of them, and we can just get started. So with that, we kind of last night on the webinar with 4DH, Seth talked about setting yourself up for success, especially during this first week. So any advice that either of you want to give about just taking those first steps? This is the first week. So how are you going to set yourself up for success?
I would
Be prepared.
say, yeah, my apologies, Justine. I would say be proactive in the process, meaning, setting yourself up for success is making sure you write down your daily goals, things that you need to do for your day to be successful. So if that's packing your meals, making sure your clothes are packed so you can head out to the gym if you need to work out and shower before you go to work. And just making sure that you're doing everything daily, and doing those daily tasks will automatically add up.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly what Doug said. Be prepared. Prepare the night before for the next day. Think about what you need to do. Don't, the worst thing a client can say to me is, I chose to do this because I didn't have this ready, or I didn't have food. Be prepared. Go to the store, buy your food, be proactive, like Doug said, in making sure that you do have everything you need. There's really not an excuse. You can make sure that you have those things. There's grocery stores everywhere you go. You can get to Walmart, you can get to a Giant Eagle, you can get to an Aldi, wherever you're from. There's always a store that you can go grab something, even if it's something like a tuna packet, even if like you didn't have time to cook a whole batch of chicken or what, you can have something that you can make sure that you have on hand so that you have those meals covered, and you're not having that urge to choose something bad instead.
Yeah, I think the number one thing, obviously, we've already seen it. And anybody that does anything fitness related knows that typically the number one thing is always the meals, right? Not being prepared for the meals. That's where you fall off track. That's kind of the glue that holds this whole thing together. Meaning, like, what holds the transformation together is nutrition, your diet. So being prepared with your meals is the number one thing. And like Doug and Justine said, it's just taking a little bit of time, whether it's the night before or whether you do your meal prep for 2 or 3 days at a time. Everybody does stuff different, but find out what works for you. And keep it simple. That's probably my biggest thing is it's especially at the beginning, I say, because we're only in week 1, obviously. So as the weeks go on, you could probably start experimenting a little bit more, getting a little bit more creative with the meals and stuff like that. But week 1, I would say keep it as simple as possible with your meals, whether, everybody, I don't want to always just use chicken and rice, because you don't have to eat just chicken and rice, obviously, but it's like the easiest thing to throw out there. So for example, just prepare that and have that stuff ready. If you want to veg, it really, a lot of people overthink stuff too, right? We always know that it's like paralysis, what's it called? Paralysis by analysis or whatever the saying is. People get frozen and they overthink stuff when really it's not that hard. And again, something is better than nothing. Or what I mean is, like, at least getting in some protein, a little bit of carbs or whatever it is, some veggies. Something is better than not doing it at all and then stopping at McDonald's and then you've screwed everything up or whatever. So keep it simple, get prepared. Again, it doesn't take that much time to meal prep at all. It really doesn't. Like, I've seen when we've prepped for shows and stuff, we've made like 25, 30 meals in like an hour before. You just
exactly.
You could be making some chicken, you could be making some ground turkey, you make rice, takes a second, especially if you have a rice maker. You can make a bunch of rice at once, stuff like that. Frozen veggies, you throw them in the microwave, the steam bags or whatever. You can get a lot of stuff done very quickly. Just concentrate for an hour, meal prep a bunch of meals and be ready.
I traveled over the holidays to visit Joel's family, and I told my clients, I said, I prepped meals to take with me for 4 days in 30 minutes. And I said, some of you make excuses that you can't pack your lunch for 1 day of work the night before. I said, literally 30 minutes. That's it. 4 days worth of very, very intense, like bodybuilder meals, not just a healthy, normal plan, like exactly what I needed for, I'm on prep. I'm, 14 weeks out now. So it really, like Dean said, don't complicate it. Make it as simple as you possibly can, especially getting started off. Eventually you can get into, different recipes and figuring out like how to make really good, healthy food taste really good. But for to start off, go as simple as you can so that you don't fall off track and you don't try to make an excuse in your head to not do it.
Yeah. And just to add real quick, all of you all have to remember, we are eating for results. We're in a competition. Everybody wants to win. If you want to win, you're going to eat for results. Simple as that.
Right on.
Cool. So for this one, it really hits on the topic of this webinar of, being hungry, but not burning yourself out week one, because everyone is super excited. We're all here to motivate each other. So just kind of getting all of your opinions on, staying hungry, staying motivated, but also realizing, you may be starting day one of, you've been out of the gym for a while, your body may hurt. So like what to stay on track. So for this, Dean, we'll start with you and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Seth kind of touched on it for anybody that was on last night's call. There's like a fine line. I mean, he said it perfectly. There's like a fine line between not burning yourself out and then not doing hardly anything or whatever. I mean, he used different words, and it is. It's like you don't want to go crazy week one and like we're talking about, burn yourself out right away. But at the same time, you don't want to hardly do
enough.
And not feel like you're doing stuff. So there is like that fine line that you kind of have to find for yourself. And again, everybody's going to be different when it comes to that. So you just have to push yourself enough to where you are, if you go out there and you work out or you're doing cardio, you have to be able to realize, okay, I'm doing a lot more than I was last week, let's say, because I know a lot of people are just getting back into this, might just be working out for the first time in years or whatever it is. Maybe you have been working out, but you just don't have the results that you want. And that's why you're doing this challenge. So you have to push yourself enough to not kill yourself, I guess, but still make sure you're pushing yourself more than you were yesterday, because that's the object of this whole thing. And that's what we always strive to do, is be better than you were yesterday, be better week after week after week, and keep improving. So you also, I would say, like I said, you're here for a reason. You want to change for a reason. So you have to look inside yourself and know what you've been doing for the last 6 months, the last year, the last 2 years, however long it's been. What you've been doing has got you to this place where you're at now. That's what I mean by that is what you've been doing is not working, probably. That's why you're here. That's why you're looking for better results. So you do have to change what you've been doing. You do have to get a little bit uncomfortable. I do believe that getting outside your comfort zone is where the most growth happens for us, whether that's physically, mentally, all of the above. So it's like I said, it's hard to tell because everybody's going to be different. Just make sure you're pushing yourself, but just don't overdo it. And you want to keep improving week after week after week. I mean, I don't know what you guys want to add to that.
Yeah, I literally just made a post on my Instagram today about being uncomfortable and how comfortability is very, very toxic. But with that being said, if you're somebody who's brand new and you haven't, like you said, you haven't been to the gym in years, you're kind of starting fresh, you need to push and you do need to be uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is different for everybody. I saw a post of somebody starting this out and they said they hadn't been to the gym in like 6 years and they started with 1 hour on the stair climber. I was like, oh my God, like that sounds like I'm a pro athlete and I don't want to do an hour on the stair climber. Ease into it. If you have not done zero cardio, maybe start with 20 minutes, 30 minutes, see how you feel from there. If you were like, okay, I'm breathing heavy, that wasn't too bad, I can do 40, but don't just start with an hour and then get so sore that you can't do it the next day. So now you ruin the rest of your week, so you do want to push yourself. And yes, you need to be uncomfortable. You need to feel, you're like you're working. If you're doing cardio and you have your heart rate isn't raised at all, then you're not really doing anything. If you're training in the gym and you're there for like 15 minutes and you spend half the time talking to friends, are you really doing anything? No, you need to push past your comfort level, but within what that means to you. If you've been going to the gym twice a week, maybe try to go 4 days a week. If you haven't been going to the gym at all, maybe start with 3, and that's enough for you for right now. So just push yourself, but at where you're at. Don't try to copy what somebody else is doing, because they might be at a completely different place than you in all this.
Real quick before you go, Doug, also regarding like the cardio aspect, it's a great point, that example that you just brought up, because you guys know too, like prepping for shows or whatever, we don't, when it's time to start cutting down, you don't, like Justine said, you don't just jump in and start doing an hour of cardio. You build up the cardio over your prep, which is kind of like what we're doing here. This is somewhat of a prep, right? For everybody, it's a big challenge. So my point is, if you start, especially like Justine saying, if you haven't been doing cardio, or let's say you haven't been doing much cardio or whatever, and you're just jumping into this, you definitely don't want to jump in and just start doing an hour of cardio a day, because especially week 1, you remember cardio is like the icing on the cake, right?
Yep.
The diet, the nutrition plan, that's where you're going to make the most progress. So cardio is just another tool in our belt that we can throw at you and help burn fat. So by starting at an hour, where are you going to be week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5? You're going to keep adding to that?
No.
That sounds
I would hope
that's somebody who's going to burn themselves out.
Yeah, that will burn you out. Don't do that.
That's a perfect example. That's what I'm getting at. It's a perfect example to burn yourself out by doing way too much fast. So like Justine said, if you have not been doing cardio before, start with like 20 minutes a day, at least for the first, couple days, week. Once you're okay with that, just bump it up to 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and keep going week by week a little bit more. But definitely don't just jump in, because once your body gets accustomed and used to that, remember, you're going to have to keep going more and more and more. And I don't want to see somebody doing, 2.5 hours of cardio a day, week 8.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Yeah.
Doug.
I mean, and I would just say, don't allow your pride and your ego to get in the way. For one, don't be afraid to ask questions, especially for beginners. When you're in the gym and you see a personal trainer, ask, say, how many days would you recommend I work out? I'm in a challenge. I want to lose body fat. And just like Justine said, I always tell a lot of my beginners, 2 to 3 days a week is great. We want to get consistent at that first. Trying to do 5, 6 days a week, you will burn yourself out, because you will get sore. And at some point when that motivation is gone, you're going to feel like this is too hard. So it's always good to, you'll hear me say this a lot. I know Dean, Justine, and Carly, and anybody who is into what we do, planning your days out, planning your weeks out. There's 7 days in a week. You can definitely train at least 3. You can definitely do cardio at least 4 to 5. That leaves you 2 days where you can allow your body to rest and reset. Me, Justine, and Dean, we're an 8-week prep to us is easy, right? But to a lot of you guys, this is a challenge for you all. So you have to take it step by step, day by day, and plan your weeks out. Okay. So today's Wednesday. If you worked out once this week, you still have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before Sunday comes. And don't get frustrated if you're too sore and you miss a day. Don't get frustrated if you miss a meal. I'd be lying to you guys if I told you every day is perfect. Especially if you got kids, you have a job, you have pets. I mean, life happens. So go through your day as best you can and plan your days out, plan your weeks out, because all you need 2 to 3 days a week of good training and get you a good 4 or 5 days a week of good cardio. And, ask questions. I mean, I know I respond back to a lot of people when I get DMs, simple things like that. I definitely don't mind giving people tips and things like that, because we don't want you guys to burn yourselves out. We want you guys to stay in this challenge all 8 weeks. I know what it can do for a lot of you. I know what it's done for me, so like I said, don't let your pride and your ego get in the way. And don't get frustrated at the process, because every day won't be perfect. And I think that's also a key for a lot of you guys, is when you have a bad day, or if you miss it, if you normally train on a Wednesday and life happens on a Wednesday, and then you're bummed out, don't allow that to bum you out. If Thursday is normally your rest day, your rest day became Wednesday, and now you're going to train on a Thursday. You know what I mean? You
So
always
true.
just got to make the adjustment. Just make the
Yes.
adjustment, do the best you can.
So something I just want to add to this real quick that's really important to me, for all of you doing this challenge. I have a lot of clients doing this challenge, and I know the money is great, and I think that obviously, yes, you're working towards prize money. Hell yeah, but more importantly, like, I don't want you to just do 8 weeks. Like, I don't want this to be an 8-week thing and then you're done with it. And that's what happens when you burn yourself out and you do too much too quickly. You're going to do this 8 weeks, and then you're going to go right back to the unhealthy lifestyle that Dean had said wasn't working for you before. So by you building, like Doug said, consistency, if you were only going 1 day, go 3 days. You know, if you were going 2 days, go 4 days. It will allow this to not just be an 8-week thing, but a lifestyle change. So these 8 weeks, you're going to crush it, and then you're going to fall in love with it, and you're going to change your life. And that's what, for my clients, they're doing the challenge, because I have a shit ton that are. That's what I want from you. I want this to be life changing, like Doug said, not just for the challenge. So by by not overwhelming yourself at first, you can make that change long term in your life.
Yeah, and we saw that happen to tons and tons of people last year, because there was people that were in last year's challenge that just got back into this, and I see them that, just like Justine said, they carried on after the 8 weeks, and I still talk to them on Instagram, and they message me, and you know, they have fallen in love with fitness, and they've completely changed their lifestyle. So this, even though like she said, it's an 8-week challenge, our goal for everybody, it's not, we don't want this to be an 8-week challenge. That's right. That's where I guess where the contest itself ends and the prize money gets given out. But the whole point of us doing this last year and this year is to really just help people and help you guys change your lives that are on this call and watching this. That's what it's all about, really, is us as a company, as a community, helping all of you completely change your lifestyle and get back to being healthy, feeling good about yourself, and whatever it is. So definitely this is for the long haul. It's not just 8 weeks. So that was a great.
And just real quick, and just some things to put out there for a lot of people. If you have a job where you sit down more than 75% of your day, exercise needs to be incorporated into your daily lifestyle, period. Because sitting down more than 75% of your day, eating a bunch of bad food, and not exercising, not getting your heart to work is extremely, extremely bad over time. So that is one of the reasons why we want this to not just be an 8-week challenge. We want you guys to learn how to develop better eating habits and how to get into the habit of exercising. You know, think about how many times you'll sit in the house and watch Netflix. You'll watch a whole series on Netflix for 8 hours. You'll watch a whole season. So it's when you can put things in perspective. Hey, you know what? I can go to the gym for an hour. I can train. I can weight train for 30 minutes. I can do 30 minutes of cardio. That's an hour out of your day. And you need to organize your day to be able to do those things. And it's not going to take away from anything else that you have going on, but it's going to get you guys to really understand the importance of, you know, having a balanced lifestyle. And that's what I like to call it. Giving your body balance at the end of the day, because exercising is not a punishment. Cardio is not a punishment. Eating right is not a punishment. These are things that we should be doing, because the older we get, the more important it is. So if you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, these things are extremely important the older we get.
As people get going as well, too, especially if you have some weight to lose, and again, maybe you're just getting back into this, or maybe you're getting into it for the first time. As you start exercising, whether it's weight training or cardio, both, whatever, you guys will start getting having more energy and more life throughout the day, and then you're going to get that feeling where you can see it working, you can feel it working, and start just pushing harder. So I think for a lot of people, the first week or two is a little bit tough, especially if it's a big change from what you've been doing. But once you start drinking more water is a huge thing as well. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there as it pops in my head, but I know there's a lot of people that don't drink enough fluids, and it's like, once you start drinking a ton of fluids and then exercising, you know, because I've seen it happen before, and I've heard people talk about it before. You know, people be like, "Oh, I have so much more energy now." It's of course because you're exercising, you're moving, you're hydrating and stuff like that. So for everybody on this or watching this, it's just like make sure you guys are doing that type of stuff as well, because it will help out tremendously.
Cool. Well, to get kind of into the workout tips, we did have a few questions. So once again, if you have any questions, just pop in here. One of the questions that I thought was interesting is what are the best exercises for the core? And this can be, you know, at home tips if someone, you know, is still working out from home or at the gym. So, Doug, if you want to start with this one.
Sure. Well, as far as weight training goes, I like to use exercises that make you engage your core while you're training. So like standing up and doing overhead dumbbell presses forces you to engage your core. Bent over rows forces you to engage your core. Farmer walks, things like that. And you know, most sit-up exercises, you know, some of you guys may not be familiar with names like, you know, Roman chairs, seated twists. I mean, I actually do a an ab exercise. It's called the 300 exercise, and I actually learned it from Aaron Donald. He plays defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Rams. And I trained with him one time. And when we got done training, he said, we're going to do 300 abs. And I looked at him like he was crazy. I'm like, what? 300 abs? But it was extremely challenging, which made it fun. And now I love to do it. And that's something that, you know, you can Google on Google, and it gives you the name of the exercises and the amount of reps per exercise. And what I did with that exercise is I timed myself the first time, and I try to beat my time every time I perform that exercise. So, you know, anything that helps you engage the core in the gym is a great exercise. And if you're at home or something like that, you know, Googling something like the 300 ab exercise is really good. You don't need any weights or anything like that. You could do that right in your living room at home.
I'm gonna take the beginner aspect because Doug went with a little more advanced things, which is if you can do it, absolutely go for it. That's awesome. Actually, that's kind of like what we do for abs all the time, like just random mixes of different crazy, like to get insane amount of reps. But I work with a ton of clients that are very just general health and fitness clients. A lot of older people actually, even who aren't able to do things like that. They would never be able to do a Roman chair or a twist or use equipment. But you know, a lot of people complain about core exercises hurting their lower back. I have a lot of clients that work out from home. You know, when they don't have any equipment, if I put in something like a lying leg lift or flutter kick, something like that, they have a lot of issues with lower back. So two things that help if you're somebody who struggles with that, if you're doing like a lying leg lift or something where you're doing like a scissor kick and it's causing you issues. First off, put your hands under your glutes a little bit. That will help. And think of pulling your belly button down towards the floor and engaging that way. But if that still causes you issues, do it with your knees bent inward. So instead of doing a straight leg scissor, do a bicycle instead. That takes a little bit of the pressure off your lower back, a little bit easier in the abs. Instead of doing a straight leg lying leg lift, bring your knees into your chest and out that way. That makes it a little more modified. Planks. That's one of the most beneficial core exercises that a beginner can do.
Yeah, I forgot about planks.
You are using everything in your core, your pelvic floor. Remember, our core is not just our abs in the front, it's your entire pelvic floor. And it's very low impact. You can modify, you can put your knees down. If you can't hold the plank the entire time, you can drop your knees as long as you're making sure you're holding your belly button up to your spine and your back is flat. So planks is something that pretty much anybody can do in some variation, even if it's a modification. And it will really, really help to strengthen your core to get to the point that you can do more intense exercises. Like I love hanging knee lifts, like just hanging from the bar, straight legs, side to side. Like that's one of my favorites. I hit that almost every day. But when you're starting out and those things are too advanced for you, start with something a little more basic. If you're in a gym, the weighted ab machine, the one where you grab overhead, I have a lot of clients that can't get on the floor. They're elderly or they have a problem that they're not able to get up and down. And that is a great one. If you're somebody who struggles to get up and down off the floor, that weighted ab machine really, really can help with a lot. So if, if you can't do the advanced stuff, those are some beginner tips to start out with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add because they kind of both hit that. Doug with the little bit more advanced and Justine with the basic stuff, but I totally agree with them. And me personally, I mean, that's the kind of like what I do. My favorite are probably the like hanging like knee lifts or leg lifts. And then I do a lot of like rope crunches when I start to do abs and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think you guys kind of covered that.
Cool. We just have a few more questions here. And then if you guys want to add anything at the end, someone did ask here, best cardio to do at home when you don't have a treadmill or a bike to use.
Well, when it's nice out, go outside because sunshine and fresh air are great for you. So if you're in an area that it's not like it is right now in Pennsylvania, go outside, go take a walk outside. This is going to sound really, really random, but I have clients who literally do this and they don't have equipment. Turn on music and just move. It sounds so silly, but dancing around. I literally like just doing something, moving, dance, have fun with your kids. Like that's something I've actually, a client that does this, they have 2 little kids and they'll turn on music and just dance with their kids for like 30 minutes and the kids love it. They say they're sweating and breathing heavy after. That's a great thing to do. Another thing, if you don't have equipment, like hit circuits. And again, this is a little difficult if you're somebody who's not able to do like jumping motions, but put together a little circuit, maybe pick like 10 exercises, like jumping jacks, squat jumps, lunges, plank jumps, like pick something like that jump, like pretend to jump rope, like a fake jump rope, pick like maybe pick like 6 to 10 and do them for like 30 seconds and repeat that through like maybe 3 times. And you can get a good 30 minutes of cardio in even with things like that. And you can modify jumping jacks by just doing like a floor, like a floor tap instead of like actually jumping. So those are things that you can modify too if you aren't able to do high impact exercises. But that helps too, little circuit training things at home.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say the same thing. Jump rope's like the easiest one I could think of. But again, not everybody can jump rope, obviously. But that's just one that takes a $5 jump rope from Walmart or something you could do with not much room. But yeah, and that was the other thing you talked about, just putting together some sort of little circuit. That's probably the best thing to do. Like Justine said, just pick 5, 6, 7 exercises and just go through them.
I've actually been posting every day on the Facebook group. If you guys are a part of it, that's what I do for cardio. Because to get my heart rate up, I can't do steady state, like it goes nowhere because I've been doing this for so long. My heart rate's very, very low. So for me to even get my heart rate to like a 130, I have to do literally 40 minutes of HIIT cardio. And I've been posting my circuits that I do every day. Like I'll do, like I said, I have them posted on there, like what I do. And I do it for 40 minutes. Again, you do it to what you need to do. Some of you may only need 20 minutes of that. They're pretty intense, but I've been posting them on there. So there's some ideas right there for you. If you're on the Facebook group, I've been posting them every day for you.
Yeah, I really don't have too much to add to that. They covered pretty much everything. I mean, when you don't really have much to use at home and depending on, your level of your fitness level, what you're able to actually do, HIIT circuits are definitely going to be cool. And, you could Google HIIT circuits. You know what I'm saying? If you're not really sure of what to do, you can just type in, 5-minute HIIT circuit and, things will pop up. You'll see some videos, YouTube, things of that nature. Yeah, and just depending on what you're able to do. I did both of them gave good examples.
Yeah, definitely use like Doug said. If you say you Google that and you've come up with a few different videos, and there are maybe say a video has 5 different exercises, but you can only maybe do 2 of them. Find some other videos and eventually after you watch 3, 4, 5 different videos that you can Google, you should be able to pull 2 or 3 exercises out of each one and then therefore put your own little program together and do it that way.
Cool. So one of the last questions here, because it was asked a few times in this Q&A, is people just want to know your favorite quad exercises.
Quad,
Yeah, quad exercises.
quad extensions. Quad extensions. Nothing hits quads like good old quad extensions. And I never, ever, ever will do a quad extension without doing a pause. I do like a 5 count time under tension. That is the only way for me that I get my quads to really work. I do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, up 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do that. Sometimes I'll do a 3 counts. But for me at the gym, that's my favorite. At home, I would say any kind of squat that you're keeping a little more of a parallel stance is going to be great. Wall sits. You can do that at home with no equipment, doing a wall sit. That's great for the quads. Make sure you're squeezing your knees, keep your feet a little bit closer together, really squeeze your knees together, keeping tension inward. That'll really get your quads too. And again, let me go back to the super beginner, lying quad extensions. Lay on your back. I have clients do this who either have no equipment and are working out at home, or again, can't do a quad extension because of knee problems. Lay on the ground with your feet straight up in the air, bend your heels to your butt, and extend them and squeeze your quads at the top. So it's like you're doing a quad extension, but you're laying on your back and you're just extending your legs. So you're like bending your knees down, extending them up and squeezing your quads while you're doing that. So for at home, you can still find things to do if you don't have quad extension machine.
Cool.
Yeah, same. Well, I mean, it's the same. Yeah, I mean, the extensions are great. Extensions probably feel the most. I agree with Justine, especially if you're squeezing and holding. I mean, me and Doug have done legs several times together up in Pumptown, and Doug's ran. I mean, I think the last leg day we did, that he punished me with was doing the drop sets, doing leg extensions and the burnouts and stuff, and nothing. I mean, you can squat and leg press and do different stuff like that. Nothing makes your quads burn like leg extensions. They don't.
Yeah. And my favorite day is leg day. So for me, I don't have a favorite quad exercise. I actually like them all. Things that are not painful to my knees. But yeah, leg extensions. My favorite exercise machine now is the pendulum. I love pendulum squat machines. It allows me to get a good range of motion and a good stretch in my quads, because I'm really trying to develop that sweep in my quads. But yeah, challenging yourself is everything. Like, I go through that with a lot of my clients. You have a plan and it says 3 sets of 10, and you do 3 sets of 10 on the leg extensions, but you did 5, 10 pounds and 15 pounds, and you're not sweating and you don't feel that blood in your quads. You didn't do 3 sets of 10. You did 3 warm-up sets. And then you need to keep increasing that weight until you feel yourself being challenged. You feel that blood going in the quads. And that's another thing you guys need to really understand. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to burn. A lot of times people feel the burn and they stop.
Wow.
I have some clients that do that. They stop. It's like you get afraid. Like, don't be afraid of the burn and the pump. That's what you want to feel.
I tell my clients so badly, I wish they could watch me that would be my dream. If all my clients could watch me train, because when you demonstrate an exercise, no, you're doing a few reps and demonstrating, and they go, oh, you make it look so easy. And I'm like, oh my God, come watch me train. I fall on the floor out of the quad extension machine. There's never a time I said, if you walk out of this machine nicely, you're doing it wrong. You need to fall with your face forward after every set. Every single set I do for especially for legs. But yeah, it's supposed to be, and it's hard for us too, trust me. When we train, it's not just because we've demonstrated a few reps to you does not mean that it's easy. We're just demonstrating. So it's okay when things are back to the uncomfortability. It's okay if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would say I just had this conversation with somebody, I think yesterday. I would say the most humbling, at least for me, the most humbling leg exercise is Bulgarian split squats.
Oh yeah.
They're to me the hardest, because they're the most painful. I'm terrible at them. And because it involves balance as well, especially if you're holding dumbbells or you're doing them, however you're doing them. That to me is probably one of the most humbling leg exercises there is.
Yeah.
So true.
One question left, and then I'll let you guys end with whatever you want to. One question prior to this is, working out fasted, will it help burn more fat? Whoever wants to start with this one.
I'll go first just because I did it for years. A lot of people, I think if you ask 10 people, you're going to get 10 different answers probably.
Yeah.
And I don't think there really is a right or wrong. I mean, I don't know, but a lot of people, some people train much better with a meal or two in their body. Some people can't train faster or don't like to, and then other people love it. And the way I did it for like 5 years, literally training fasted every morning and full on workouts. And then I would even do post cardio. And then I even prepped for 3 shows doing that same thing, working out fasted for the entire preps. So, and the way I came about that was kind of on accident, because I used to be the person that could never work out fasted ever. In fact, my wife used to go work out with some friends at like 5:30 in the morning. And I remember I used to tell her she was crazy. Like, I didn't know how she did it. And it wasn't until our kids started playing travel soccer and I had to like start Ubering them around everywhere a couple years ago. So I started working out early, and we would go sometimes at 4:35 in the morning, and I just was not going to wake up and have a meal and all that. I just didn't have time. So I would wake up and I would take a pre-workout and that was it. And I'd go to the gym, work out fasted, and do, like I said, post-workout cardio and everything. Then I would come home and have a meal. So my point is, though, a lot of people would think like you can't make any type of gains or build muscle and all that. That I think is absolutely false. You definitely still can, because I think at the end of the day, what matters is the calories, your macros, and what you're getting in for that day. As far as it burning more fat, I mean, that's working out or doing fasted cardio. Again, I think it's a debatable thing. Some people think it definitely does because you are low on glycogen stores because you've been sleeping all night and then you're burning fat. So I don't really have an answer. I guess. I mean, I think, like I said, I think if you ask numerous people, you're going to get totally different answers. So I'm curious to see what Doug and Justine.
Yeah, it's such a strange topic, and so many people have like some different views on that. And again, I don't think there is a right or wrong. When it comes to cardio, I truly prefer fasted. It does not work for everybody because sometimes you don't have the ability to train first thing in the morning with cardio, so you can't. And you have to do what fits your schedule. You can't say, well, I can't do my cardio fasted, so I'm screwed. No, not true at all. But I like to do it fasted because I feel lighter. I feel lighter with nothing in my stomach when I do it. It is, you know, you did, if you just ate a meal, now your body's working on breaking down that meal and you're doing cardio, and really you want your body to be breaking into fat storage for energy during your cardio. So I am a big fan of fasted cardio. With the training, myself personally, I prefer to have a couple meals before I lift. I can lift fasted. I don't like to. It just, I don't feel very strong for myself personally. But again, it depends on what your goals are. You know, is your goal to, is your goal to continually move up in weight all the time and get stronger? Or are you somebody who's really, truly just looking to lose body fat right now? Maybe down the road, focus more on the muscle building. I think if you're somebody who's trying, you just have like a lot of weight to lose. Somebody who maybe really have a lot of weight to lose. I don't think it would hurt you to train fasted. And like Dean said, you can still make progress. Tons of people do it. You see people that train fasted and they still do make progress. You are eating later in the day. You are eating a meal, later at night. That's you still have with you in the morning if you're training in the morning. So I think it is extremely dependent on the person. If you are the person though that tends to pass out when you don't eat, because I've had this happen to me at my gym, like probably 10 times since we've opened, and it's usually younger girls. I don't know why, but it's always these younger, like 20, 25-year-old girls. They come for a leg day. We make it through about 3 exercises, and I've had to drive a couple of them home. And I said, what did you eat? Nothing. What did you drink? Coffee. So you came to do a crazy leg workout on nothing but coffee in your stomach. And some people can do it, but not everybody can. So make sure you don't let yourself be the person that passes out because you didn't eat anything at all. So very, very dependent on the person with that topic. I would say my best advice would be try both. If you're somebody who, if you have the ability, if you train in the morning and you really would prefer to train fasted, try it. Maybe if you start to feel sick in any way, stop. Maybe bring food with you so that you can eat, right away so you don't pass out. But then if it doesn't go so well and you do feel like you're gonna, you're lightheaded or it's not working, make sure that you do have something, even if it's just, a protein shake or a homemade bar before you train.
Yeah, I would have to say, I have a couple different takes on this, and these are my opinions. But one thing that I do know is the human body is amazing and it'll do whatever you make it do. So I also used to be someone who would train fasted in the morning, because when I first got into my fitness journey, I didn't like the way food felt on my stomach in the morning when I was training. And I don't know now how I did that before. But what I do know, just like Justine said, I wasn't as strong when I wasn't eating food. And now, if nothing else, I'm gonna make sure I have a shake, a nice, good, healthy shake before I train, because I want to build muscle when I'm training. And it is, preference based. I also prefer fasted cardio over anything else when it comes to losing body fat. And one thing most people don't realize is you're either building muscle, maintaining muscle, or losing muscle. The main key to building muscle is food. Food is fuel. So if you want to build muscle, you do have to eat. And everybody has a different opinions on the anabolic window and things of that nature. But when you're training and you feel blood going into the area that you're training, that blood is carrying what it needs to repair the muscles. If you don't have anything, if you're not eating right, then that muscle is going to basically stay the same. Me personally, I've never seen someone who trains fasted and gains muscle. But I'm not saying that it can't happen. I don't know. I've never seen it. But if you're somebody who likes to train fasted, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's your personal preference. But we all know that one of the best ways to burn fat is to build muscle. And I think that a lot of people have gotten into this space in their mind where people think that eating food makes you gain weight. Depends on what kind of food you're eating. It depends on your activity level. There's so many variables and things that come along when it comes to wanting to lose body fat, gain muscle, and things of that nature. That's why it's always funny when people ask me nutrition questions, because it's hard for me to answer your questions. I don't know what you're eating. I don't know how you're eating. I don't know how you're training. I don't know where your cardio is, and then how consistent you are. So training fasted, I don't recommend it to any of my clients, but at the same time, you're going to do whatever you want. Fasted cardio, I always recommend fasted cardio to all of my clients. So like I said, you may be somebody who that works for you, and that's totally fine. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But, if you're trying to gain muscle and things of that nature, I think that it's, you want to have food in your body, and you definitely have to allow it to digest as well. I won't train anybody who's training legs who does not eat. I've also had somebody pass out on me, and that scared the shit out of me. And when they told me they didn't eat, when they told me they didn't eat anything, I said, I'll never train you again. I don't care if you eat a protein bar, you drink a shake, get something in your body. You know what I mean? Because that scared the shit out of me. I was like, whoa, I didn't, and then I found out after the fact, and she's like, well, I didn't have anything to eat this morning. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, you got to get something in your body, So I think that people need to get that thought out of their head that food makes you gain weight. Food is fuel. That depends on what you're eating. That's going to make you gain weight. And then the kind of weight that you want to gain. And that, that's why I always tell people too, man, the scale just tells you, it tells you how much you weigh. It doesn't, unless you have one of these new scales that can kind of tell you what your body fat is. The scale is just going to tell you how much you weigh. It's not going to tell you, what your body fat is, your body composition, and those things matter when you're training and you're exercising regularly. Your body changes, and it takes time to adapt. Your body has to adapt to everything that you do. It's funny. I was watching that show on TLC, The 600-Pound Life, and there was a family going to dinner, and they were eating pizza on their way to dinner. Their bodies adapted to their lifestyle. Their bodies allow them to overeat. So your body's going to do whatever you make it do.
Yeah, and I totally with Doug with the fasted cardio. Like I'm a big fan of that, and I do recommend that if possible for my clients. But I
Yeah.
know with the training, and again, I know that some people can do it, and if you can, that's fine. If you want to and you like it, that's fine. But I know, like as I go through prep, obviously when my food gets lower and lower and lower, yeah, I get weaker. So I can't fathom training like that forever. Like
Yeah.
always training with that feeling of, oh my God, I can't lift anything because I am so depleted and I'm so
Yep.
starved. And I
Yep.
have clients that do it, that they come, they refuse to follow a meal plan because they just don't, for whatever reason, but they don't follow a meal plan with me. But they come in to work out and they get very frustrated. They don't get stronger. I want to build my butt. I want to build my butt. I know why I'm not stronger. I don't know why I can't squat this much. And because you don't eat food.
Exactly.
Because
You
you ate,
gotta
because
eat.
today all you ate was a string cheese and an apple. That's all you ate in a
Yep.
24-hour period. And you're not, you can't build muscle like that, and you're not going to get stronger like that. So for me, I do really prefer that my clients eat. And again, even if I usually have them do a protein and a carb. If you're
Mhm.
somebody who has the time, maybe that's egg whites and a half a cup of oatmeal. If you don't have time, that might be a protein shake and an apple.
Mhm.
It's something, a protein and a carb before you
Mhm.
lift. And what I'll even do, like if I would like to do my cardio fasted, I'll go to the gym. Now I own the gym, so I can do whatever I want. Yeah, like I go and I do my cardio, which you can do at any gym. I do my cardio and I bring my first meal with me, and I eat
Mhm.
my meal and then I train. If
Yep.
I'm doing it in that order, if I really want to do it, rather than doing the cardio after. So I do my cardio fasted.
Yeah.
I eat my meal real quick, wait, clean up the bathrooms a little bit, take the trash
Yeah.
out, and then I lift.
All of it comes down to you guys making a sacrifice. You're going to have to do things you don't want to do, period. Like, there's no other way around. If you want a result, you're going to have to do things you didn't want to do. I didn't want to get up at 2:30 in the morning to be at the gym at 4, but I wanted to win my competition. So I was going to do whatever it took. And I pride myself in saying, I'm going to do what y'all don't want to do so that I win. You don't want to get up that early in the morning? I will. You don't want to do fasted cardio? I will. So take pride in this process and changing your lifestyle and, doing the necessary things in order to, change your lifestyle around.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody, you have to find out what works for you. And
Mhm.
like myself now, I lift later. I don't train usually in the morning anymore, but I still I do fasted cardio. And just like Doug and Justine said, I mean, I don't think fasted cardio is like some magic pill. I just like doing it because I like doing it. Same as Justine said, I like doing cardio on an empty stomach. Right when I wake up. It's also like a mental thing for me. I kind of get to think about the day, what I have to do, and just plan out my day or whatever. So I get some clarity when I do cardio. So I like doing fasted cardio now, and then I'll train later in the day. So it's changed up a lot for myself, from what I did for about 5 years. But for everybody on this call, it's like you need to find out what works for you, and that might take a little bit of time. You have to do what you have to do. Like Doug said, you have to make sacrifices. If you only have time say you have kids and a wife or family and work and sports, whatever it is, school stuff at night, so you don't have time to train at night or do cardio, then you have to get it done in the morning. And that goes to the sacrifices Doug's talking about. So if that means, doing your workout and your cardio in the morning, well, then that's what you have to do. If you're able to split them up and do your training and work cardio in the morning, then you're able to do the other one later at night, do that. Everybody on this call is going to be different. Everyone on the call has a different lifestyle, different schedules or whatever. So you just have to find out what works for you and then make it happen, do the work. Nobody's going to do the work for you guys. But again, everyone's going to be different, and just find out what works for you. And you want to be able to find out what you're going to stick to and what you're going to be able to, adhere to over these 8 weeks and beyond, like we said. So just, experiment a little bit and see what works for you and what doesn't, and tweak it a little bit as you go and make the changes so you can dedicate yourself to this and make the changes that you want. I mean, that's what everybody's on this call for, is to make a change. So you're going to have to get a little bit uncomfortable. You're going to have to make some sacrifices and in order to do that.
Yeah, with what Dean said, people ask me all the time, like, what's better? Like, is it better if I train in the morning? Is it better if I train at night? Well, again, personal preference, but also when can you? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if one's better. If we can scientifically come out and say this time is better, but you can't do that time, then it doesn't matter because you're not doing it at all then. So doing something, getting it in is what matters. When it comes down to it, get it in. Get it in. If it's fasted, get it in. If it's not fasted, get it in the morning, get it in at night, get it in the afternoon, whenever you can do it, that it can be feasible with your schedule to be able to do it consistent, to be able to do it long term. Life happens, like, you know, like we've all been saying, like kids, family, work, da 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 da. You need to do what you can do to get it done. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it goes to the simple, like the cardio question that we see all the time. Everybody says, what's the best form of cardio, or what's the best cardio that burns the most fat? My answer is the same every time, and it has been for the last 6, 7, 8 years. The best form of cardio is the cardio that you're going to do. There's certain cardio, you know what I mean? There's some forms of cardio people absolutely hate. Don't do that cardio. If you hate it, and you know you're not going to do it, or you're going to make up some excuse why you shouldn't do it or can't do it, don't do that cardio. Find a cardio that I'm not going to say that you love or enjoy, because not all of us love it, but one that doesn't suck as much. I'll say that. Okay. Find out a cardio that you don't mind and stick to that. So whatever the best cardio is, the type of cardio that you're going to adhere to and do. And again, that could be the same thing all the time, or it could be switching it up, you know, say like for me, for example, I have a treadmill, I have a Rogue Echo bike, and I also have stairs. So I like having all three of those because I kind of rotate them all. So I never really get sick of just one form of cardio, and I don't mind all three of those. Those are kind of my 3 cardio pieces of choice. So I kind of just rotate amongst those. So just find cardio you like to do and stick to that.
Well, first, I want to thank you guys, everyone who joined. I especially want to thank Dean, Doug, and Justine for hopping on with us today. But before I close out here and just give some reminders, do you guys have just a last comment or anything for today's webinar?
Reach out if you have questions. I know, like, we all, you know, do this for a living and coach people and train people, but we're also like part of this company, and you guys are doing this challenge. And I know that myself, speaking for myself, like, I'm here, I will help you. I know not everybody can hire a coach. Not everybody can pay for a trainer. Not everybody can pay for a meal plan. And I will answer, you know, please message me, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, and reach out if you have questions. I have no problem, you know, giving out some knowledge to you guys to get you through this and help you out.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Go ahead, Doug.
I would just say, do your best to figure things out, because recognize and realize that everything's not going to be perfect, but do your best to not get frustrated in the process, and do your best to figure things out, and be proactive in the process. You know, setting yourself up for success is planning your days, and then also not getting frustrated when things don't go your way, because, you know, we don't want anybody to quit. We want everybody to be successful in this challenge. We want all you guys to be to feel better about yourself and more confident after yourself in this challenge. So when things get tough and, you know, you feel like your back is against the wall and you're overwhelmed, just relax, breathe, and do your best to figure things out. And like Justine said, don't be afraid to, you know, ask some questions. You know, we want all of you all to be successful in this challenge. And like I tell you, I've said it before, stuff like this changed my life. You know, what I do is a lifestyle for me. Everything outside of bodybuilding in my life got better. That doesn't mean that I still don't have trials and tribulations, and I still don't go through things and have those speed bumps. But, you know, the level of confidence I have in myself now is I've never had this before. So, you know, just do your best. That's all you can do.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, just to piggyback off both of them, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Facebook, Instagram. If you're on Instagram, it's probably the easiest because I check that more than Facebook, I would say. But you can send messages to us on Facebook. Preparing, like we've all said on this call, preparing is key. The old cliche, you know, saying of fail to prepare, you know, to fail.
Yeah,
that holds very much true. I can't even talk. But you guys know what I'm saying.
Yep.
But it's true. It's true. It's like if you don't have stuff prepared, it's that, and I'm as guilty as anybody. Nobody on this call is perfect. We all, like Doug said, everybody has trials and tribulations. We all have bad days. We all struggle with the same stuff everybody on this call does. So don't think, you know, we're any better than anybody on this call. And everybody starts somewhere. You don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. I mean, all we can do is share our knowledge with you guys and help you guys as much as we can. So like Doug said, don't get frustrated at all. Are you going to get frustrated? Probably. Are there going to be some days that suck? Yes, there probably will be. Will there be sometimes you feel like quitting? Probably. But you always have to remember why you're doing this, number one, which is you don't like where you were, you know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So that's your why. And you probably have some other reasons why as well. But just remember why you started in the first place. Are there going to be times that are tough? Of course, that's what makes this part of the journey. But think about finishing this out at the end of 8 weeks and beyond. How much better you're going to feel, number one, how much better you're going to look. I posted a video maybe a week or two ago in this group. It's somewhere pinned like at the top on the Facebook group. And I talked about the difference we saw in people last year in this contest. And when I was just up at headquarters at Axe and Sledge, we talked specifically about it. And I talked about it in this video, but the look on people's faces, even from the beginning of this challenge to the end, was absolutely like amazing. And and that's kind of what I talked about in the video I posted. It's like people are going to make a lot of changes physically, which is great, right? That's what a lot of this is about. It's a transformation challenge. You're going to change your body, change the way you look and stuff like that. But with that, so many other areas of your life improve. I mean, like Doug said, confidence, just everything, your self-esteem, you feel better, you have more energy, you're healthier than you were before. And you start operating at like a higher level in every aspect of your life, just because you're just running so much better across the board. And it truly is amazing. And it's not as, even though this is a transformation challenge, it's so much more than that. And if you guys stick with us over these 8 weeks, I guarantee you that you will see what I'm talking about, not only in yourself, but you're going to see it amongst everybody else in this group. It's crazy. The Facebook group is by far my favorite thing of this transformation, because of everybody in it, because of all the interaction. So that's another thing too, like Doug and Justine are saying, don't be afraid to ask questions. Not only, you know, reaching out to us, but don't be afraid to ask questions in that Facebook group. Remember, there's so many new people in there. There's no dumb questions at all. If you have a question you think is dumb, I guarantee you there's 30 other people with the same exact question and they're afraid to ask it. So just ask it, because you're going to help out tons of people in that group. I guarantee it. And you know, there's no negativity in that group. We will not allow it, which there usually isn't anyways, because everybody in there's just trying to get better and help each other, motivate each other. So use that Facebook group as a crutch as much as possible, especially if you have a hard day, a rough day, you're frustrated. I've already seen it. A couple of people, you know, throwing comments like, oh, I had a bad day yesterday, or I felt weak in the gym. People are throwing that up already. And then there's 50 comments, you know, helping people out and helping motivate people and push them along and stuff like that. So use that Facebook group as much as possible. That's all I can say.
Perfect. Well, once again, I want to thank everyone who joined us, or if you're watching this later, because as a reminder, we do record every single webinar. They'll be emailed out and I will post them in the Facebook group. They'll be pinned to the top. So if you want to go rewatch something or listen to something again, please do. Justine, Doug, Dean, thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow we have another webinar with Bob and Kim and myself. We're going to be going over tracking macros and training apps, because I've seen a lot of comments on that as well. So with that said, thank you guys for joining us, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Yep.
Thanks,
You all have
guys.
a great day. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.